not very many, some try to cheat us. That means the boy tells us that he was sick on school day, for example.
Oh, and they try
And then the company tried to keep them
to
in the
get
company.
more work.
Profit.
Yes.
Right. And if we find out about these things, we can find them.
Mm.
Not we as a school, but we give this case, we make a report on that case, it goes to the government.
Mhm.
And the governments send them a fine that can go up to 5,000 euros.
So this is not really a common thing.
No, not
Right.
at all. We have this from time to time,
Mhm.
but we are talking about 1,800 students, part-time students,
Mhm.
and if
1%.
this
1%.
happens once or twice a year.
Many of the students work for small mom and pop companies,
Yes.
small.
But this is a special part of this district, because we are a rural district, no big cities, small cities like Kempen, and there is a workshop here and a workshop here, and most of the workshops are between 3 and 20 people.
Mhm.
And they are trying to keep their own people and to train their own people to have good people in their company.
Correct.
And it's a very familiar system,
Mhm.
really.
Yeah, it's a really interesting thing. And then, do the kids have to stay, they have to keep certain grades here? In this, when they come here, they have to keep a certain academic grade? What if they don't do well in their classes here? What happens? Do
Ob die
they?
eine bestimmte Leistung bringen müssen.
Eine bestimmte Leistung oder ein Abschluss?
Nee, während des Studiums oder
Ja.
während der Schulzeit.
Ja, die werden ja laufend von uns bewertet, bekommen ihre Zeugnisse und wenn sie die Leistung nicht erbringen, kriegen sie ja Krach im Betrieb und werden auch von Betrieben gekündigt.
Mhm.
Die Fälle haben wir ja, dass aus den Gründen dann auch diese Ausbildungsverhältnisse aufgelöst wurden.
Basically, of course, they get academic grades.
Mhm.
In the full-time part of our system, if the grades are too bad, we can, or they have to repeat one class, for example. In the vocational system, the grades, we discussed the grades with the workshops.
Mhm.
Where students get a certificate at the end of the year, and he must show his boss. And then the boss is not happy with bad grades, of course not. If he has good grades, it's okay. If it's bad grades, if the young person is good in the workshop and he comes with bad grades from school,
Correct.
then the boss will say, that's not very good, but you will make it.
Mhm.
You know, if the boy is not good in the workshop,
Then,
makes trouble there, and he also brings bad grades
Then-
from school, he might kick him out.
right.
And also we have a support program. This is run by the Guild. The Guild is running a support organization. If students have bad grades, they can go there for extra support. It's run in the neighborhood over there.
And this, I wanna make sure all this program here is free of charge.
Yes.
And do the kids, is there a cafeteria here?
Not yet. If you will come back in about 2 years, there will be one next door.
So right now, the kids bring their lunch to
Yes.
school. And if their kids are poor, would the government pay for their food, or that's not part of the option?
Partly, yes.
Part of it, maybe.
Ja, wir haben doch diese Frau Lennartz. Die können ja Beihilfen, es gibt eine
okay.
Berufsausbildungsbeihilfe, die Lehrlinge beantragen können, bis zu 150 € im Monat. Also auf Antrag geht das in bestimmten Fällen, ja.
He just told me that there is a new program that they can get up to 150 euros per month for example, for food.
Mm.
But you must see, the students in the vocational area, they get paid every month.
So that's kind of part of the compensation.
Vielleicht eine Zahl noch, ich weiß nicht, ob die wichtig ist, aber 28% aller Ausbildungsverträge werden vorzeitig aufgelöst. Das finde ich viel. Ich weiß nicht, ob das jetzt für die Diskussion wichtig ist und für ihn, du kannst die Zahl ja mal reinbringen.
Just mentioned a statistical number, 28% ends with the final examination.
Okay.
Or, if they disagree on some point, It can be opened before.
Can be
Opened.
open,
That means that if the apprentice wants to leave, for example,
correct,
he can leave the contract.
okay.
Also, the workshop can leave the contract if the apprentice does not do well.
And you're saying about
20.
28% of the contracts end like this?
Right, but that doesn't say anything about the reason. That can be that one student or one apprentice has started, for example, as car mechanic. And after 1 year, he says,
This isn't what I want to do.
this is not what I want to do, and then
Right.
make another one. Another thing can be if there is a person who has a qualification for university,
Correct,
but he says, I do not want to go to university directly, I first want to learn a profession.
mhm,
And maybe after 2 years he says, no, I have enough practical experience, I want to go to university now.
mhm.
And it can be that there is some problems between the apprentice and the workshop.
If this program didn't have the monetary incentive tied to it, in other words, the kids weren't receiving money, would it work?
I don't know.
I mean, can you imagine this program without, how do you think it would affect this? If employer strikes a deal with the apprentice, says we want you to work here.
No.
Oh.
When you want to start an apprenticeship
Yes,
in a company, you make a contract between the apprentice and the company.
correct.
And this, it would work because that would mean more profit for them,
Yes,
of course.
Correct.
The question is of if students would go there.
also ich denke, es würde nicht funktionieren.
There was a change. In the morning I told you about the origins of this system in the Middle Ages at about 1200 or 1100. At that time it was so that the family of the apprentice paid
Was paid,
the
right.
master
Correct.
for them,
Yes.
that he takes the boy or the girl, at that time mostly boys, if he would take him, you know.
Mhm.
But this has completely changed, and
Die Gewerkschaften würden ja da auch
Ja.
nicht mitspielen. Die würden ja sagen, habt ihr so noch alle
there are
hier?
very strong trade unions, and they would not accept things like that. And I think it would not fit in our society.
Mhm.
The society is profit-based.
Right.
You understand? I think the United States even more, or must be, if it wants to survive.
Correct.
Without profit, no survival
Ja.
Rate of any company. So, no. And we talked about it this morning. You said it's a real win-win situation. The company earns money on these apprentices during the apprenticeship time, and because they reproduce their own skilled workers.
Mhm.
The student, even if he is not, if he does not stay in the company, he has his final qualification and he can apply in any other workshop.
Let me ask you this, as far as the certified auto mechanics, the ones that receive a certificate, do you have any idea about how many kids in this school receive a certificate a year to work as a?
I can tell you quite exactly. It depends on how many students we have in these classes, but it are always in between, every year in between 55 to 75.
For your auto mechanic?
Auto mechanics, yes.
And the second largest program here is the
Metal workers.
metal workers, and a fair amount receive certificates too.
It's about,
Then pay of roughly 1,800 euros,
in the car mechanic business, yes.
coming right out of high school.
Out of our vocational school.
So which is really high school,
Yeah, okay.
18, 19 years old. So, I mean, it's excellent money for an 18 or 19-year-old. It would be in the US.
If you take away taxes, he will have about 11 to 1,200 euros netto cash in the pocket
Correct,
from 1,800.
right. But everybody has to pay taxes, so.
Yeah.
So.
And if you're working in a company on a higher level, you can go up to 2,500, 2,800 euros per month. And a master, one who organizes a workshop, he goes up to 3,000, 3,200.
How important are parents in this? Do you have parent organization here? Do you bring in parents and talk to them too, so they?
Er fragt wieder, wie wichtig Elterneinfluss hier in der Schule ist.
Ja, die Frage ist relativ